cup of coffee. It's coffee time. We're so thankful you're here with us. And first of all, I'd like to start by thanking my family for supporting me. My mom, my sisters, they have really done a lot of work and kept me going. And Donnie, my cousin, they have really supported me in this endeavor. And I really appreciate each and every one of them, and I love them so much. But I wanted to talk about first the editing. The editor that I had downloaded on my phone, it was okay for starting out, but it was hard to understand how to split and cut out material that we didn't want. And I started researching on YouTube, of course.
Good old YouTube.
Good old YouTube. If it wasn't for YouTube, we wouldn't know half of what we know. And I found Power Director. I downloaded it and tried it, and I love it. It is so simple. It is so easy to cut and split the material. And I caught on within just a few minutes. So I'm grateful for that. One thing I'd like to say too, I'm grateful for Mystery Man, Danny Hodges. We've been following him and his son Stephen and Miss Helen for quite a few years now. And some of the things that he has pointed out about making videos has really helped. And I thank him for that. And let's see, we were going to talk about the garden. I got the field planted. Got everything out there that I'm going to plant. Yesterday, I planted the mustards, the collards, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, and some romaine. There was something else I planted. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But I got all that planted. Now I've got some raised beds that I'm going to put the butters lettuce, more romaine, and some mixed greens in, and more spinach if I have enough, and get that done. That way we'll have our salad greens and stuff. Because I really like.
Yeah, a lot of greens make some nice casseroles, and they're very healthy for you. I have a heart condition, so the doctors want me to eat healthier, and this has helped me quite a bit. It gives me a lot more of my energy back. I still can't last very long, but I feel a lot better when I sit and rest, and then you get to go out and do more work, come in and rest a little while, and I can keep going.
I got what plastic we had laid down. I didn't have enough for the whole garden, and I think we're going to use some of the silage tarp that we bought and finish off the rows so we won't be fighting the grass so bad, because it is just...
Yeah, we had to go out a second time and till up half the garden and then re-row it so that we could put the last in, because the grass took over again.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few nice rains here, giving us an inch of rain at a time in the last few weeks.
Yes.
So.
And
the soil's finally starting to look a lot better now.
it is. It's
That
getting
we've
darker.
been fertilizing it and tilling it and getting it mixed in really good. It went from a light gray to a little bit darker soil, so we know the nutrients are slowly coming back in it. Hopefully the garden will do better this time.
Yes.
We just got to remember that after we do our last plow in, that we fertilize it again and then cover it so that it has time to recover.
Yes. We got in touch with a lumber guy in St. Mary's,
Folkestone.
and he moved the lumber to Folkestone. So we're gonna go get back in touch with him, I guess sometime
This week.
this coming week, and schedule a time to go and get us some lumber so we can build another coop for our silkies. Let me show you the silkies. They are so pretty. They've started getting their little feathers in. And they are getting so big. And they're so pretty. We do have one rooster in the bunch that we know of.
The others are almost full grown now, personalities.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, we have to find one of the cats a new home. She seems to want to get into that cage really bad. She spends most of her time laying on top of it, trying to figure out how to get into it.
I think she's just napping up there, to be honest with you. But what do I know? She's a cat. We are going to build a brooding pen because that
So,
tote is just not big enough for 10 chickens. So we are going to end up having to build a brooding pen, and I think we'll probably need it in the future. You
Yes.
know,
most definitely.
but I'm enjoying. I went out to feed the big chickens last night and refresh their water, and they were all cowering behind the food thing that we got hanging in there. And I walked in there and they just started squawking and carrying on. But they are so big, and that yellow one, my favorite, is just absolutely gorgeous. But
Yeah, he has little blonde or brown streaks in his wings.
yeah, he is a pretty bird.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying having the animals, and I'm hoping that later on we can get a nanny goat and a billy goat, and you know, and maybe a pig, so we can put some meat in the freezer.
That would be a good thing to do. But, you know, we've got a lot of work to do before we get to that point.
Right.
But we're getting there slowly.
Yes, and it's taking time. And some of the guys that we follow on YouTube, like Keeping It Dutch and Hidden Heights and Arms Family Homestead. Oh yeah, and Grandpa Adler. We've learned a lot from those people, and we want to thank them for doing what they're doing and showing us how to carry on and maintain.
Yeah.
You know.
In that respect, I finally got all the equipment running. She has some clips of that she'll show you later on how we got it all up and running and everything's operating normally again.
Yes.
So we have all of our equipment available. I still have to replace the motor on the tiller, but it's over in the work area now, there's a little clip of us building that area, so we had a place to sit under if it started raining that we wouldn't have to run for the house.
Yes.
So that we keep working and keep the equipment maintained.
Yes, I have a work area out there now. It's a bench type work area that we built, and I really like it.
It's actually in the shade most of the day.
Yes. We just need to put a fan out there to circulate the air because it does still get hot.
Yeah, but that helped a lot because you're less likely to lose the tools and the little screws and stuff like that. Because we took a lot of stuff out of there. I found one of the parts for the plow because I had it jerry rigged to the back of the tractor. And while we were cleaning that up, I actually found the hitch point for the plow.
Yeah.
So that we could hook it up the right way.
Yeah, seriously. He was raking the dirt, and there it was. And it's remarkable what we find. But we did get the deck built, and it's very nice. It's pretty. Here, put the
Screening around it.
The screening. We got to frame this part here, and put a roof on it, and put lattice around it to keep the cats from tearing up the screen. How about that?
Yeah, we've been working. It's just it takes a little longer at our age to keep things going. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to figure out different ways to make life easier for all three of us. And especially the two ladies, once I have to go home, that they can keep things going.
Yes. And I'm going to fess up. I am 61 years old. I may not look like it, but things have gotten a little harder for me to do. But I still try to keep going because I don't want to end up in a wheelchair or bedridden or what have you. So I try to do the best I can and do all I can, you know.
It gives us a little bit of exercise pretty much each and every day. We don't work on Sundays, of course. That's time for the Lord. But the rest of the week, we're out for a few hours each day, doing our chores, keeping things going, and it keep our strength up.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And we've been blessed. The Lord has really blessed us. We have to give Him glory for that, because we wouldn't be able to do this without Him. And I am so thankful and grateful. So, koi pond.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that when I come back next year, we'll have everything that we need, because we've got to gather up a few parts and pieces that on the outside of the deck here that I can actually put her in a nice koi pond with a waterfall feature.
And a bridge.
So that they can have some fish there, because we have to build a netting system over it to keep the cats and the birds from eating the fish.
Yeah.
Or they won't last long.
No.
But I have built at least two in the past. One of them was a very beautiful setup, and it went over very well. It was at an apartment complex I used to work for as the maintenance supervisor. And it gave a lot of the residents a place to go during the day and just stand and feed the fish and talk to each other and converse, get to know their neighbors.
I would have liked to have seen that.
I wished I had had some pictures of it, but I never did think to take any pictures.
Yeah, you would have never known that this day would be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we are also going to go to Brunswick tomorrow and get some free pallets that was advertised on Marketplace. So that's going to help with some of the lumber problems.
That will help out a lot with some lumber, some flooring, things like that. As far as the chicken coop goes.
Yes.
Because we can take the pallets and make the flooring out of that and make a nice sturdy floor. Because we have to get that up off the ground.
Yeah.
Due to snakes and predators and what have you. Eventually, we're going to as soon as we can find the right dog, we're going to get Aunt Carolyn a new puppy. But we've got to figure out or find the animal that will be good with farm animals, is a good loyal dog. We've got a few breeds in mind, but we've got a few little more work to do before we get to that point too.
Yeah, he's got to replace the dining room floor, and with a puppy, that would be a little difficult because they'd want to come out and run through the glue and stuff.
Yeah. So once we get the new floor in the dining room, then we can bring the puppy in and have time to get him house trained and what have you. Get used to the animals that'll be here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I miss Precious, and I know Mom does too. She was a wonderful little dog. She was a Chihuahua. Matter of fact, she was a toy Chihuahua. And from what I understand, when Mom was living with Mary, my sister, it just came up to her. The people that had her had abandoned her, and she had puppies. But, you know, they say that sometimes animals will choose you instead of you choosing the animal, and I think that happened that day.
Yeah.
So.
And I believe that too as well, because my little dog that I have here, when was first introduced to me, she ran into my home, jumped right in the chair with me and sat down next to me, and that was it. I've had her ever since, and she's almost 10 years old now.
Yeah, I like her. She's something. I'd love to get me one just like her.
Yeah, she is great around animals. She doesn't really mind the cats. She wants to go up and introduce herself, and some of the cats are a little bit scared of her, so they hiss and bow up. But she doesn't try to go run at them. She just turns and goes the other way.
Yeah.
She goes up and sniffs the chicks and what have you, just to see what they are.
Yeah, one of my other cats, Missy, loves to play with her. They like to chase each other.
I don't know if you've noticed, but we cleaned the porch up and added a new table out here for us. It was a little bit hard for everybody to put their stuff on this tiny round one.
Yeah, everybody was fighting for space.
And we had a smaller table on the front porch that we weren't using for anything but a catch-all. So we brought it out. Made me mop the floor today.
Oh, he did good. Yeah, that mop fit his hand just perfectly. He did good, Mr. Mop. Mr. Clean. Nobody made, you went and volunteered for that job in Turkey.
Well, being the guy around, you know, we kind of get blamed for everything, whether we did it or not. The guys will understand what I mean.
Yeah. You ain't right.
But we do try to help each other.
That's what it's all about. Helping each other, loving each other, caring about each other. That's what we're supposed to do.
Amen.
So,
There's just not enough of that left in the world.
no. It's nice to sit out here and begin and just discuss things with y'all. And we didn't have this porch here until last year. All we had was that was behind you, and it's
A little 8x12.
yeah, it's an 8x12, and it's really small. But Mom said she wanted an extension to that, so Donnie built the porch in about 3 days. last year, and this year he opened it up, and it is really nice. He rehung the door so it doesn't stick, and it's nice.
And once we get the new addition on out there, the grill and some work tables and things will be out there, the brooding pen, places where we got enough room on the porch to still sit comfortably, but yet have a dry place to do different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have an outdoor kitchen, y'all. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, she had told me last year when I first got here that was her intention with the outer porch to begin with, but she never knew how to go about getting it accomplished. So it's one of those projects where it's, okay, let's work on that right now. And we work a little bit at a time on this project, and then go do some chores. And it's slowly coming together.
Yeah.
By this time next year, she should have a fully functional outdoor kitchen.
Yes. I want to put my grill up there, but I also want an outdoor oven. So that's in the plans to do also. Because if the electricity or whatever goes out, I'll want to be able to still cook food and be self-sustaining.
Yes.
So,
And Lord knows we have enough timber around for kindling.
yes, we do. Every time I go somewhere, I notice trees that have fallen in the ditch, and I imagine in my mind going and with a chainsaw and cutting them up and bringing them home. I mean, they're just laying there, rotten, and it would, you know.
See, that's one of the things I was thinking about for next year, was starting a cordwood pile. Build an area that has a cover over it so to keep the wood dry, and start cutting up 10 to 12 inch pieces that she could split up into smaller kindling and things like that, to actually set out here with the outdoor oven, build a little fire, make some cornbread, bake a cake, make a pizza,
Yeah.
cook a roast.
Yeah. Well, that'll really build me up.
Yeah.
Splitting wood.
One of the things there, I'm going to do this for myself. I have several hydraulic rams. I just need to get the thicker steel to build the log splitter that is actually hand operated, because like I say, power goes out and we have a crisis of some sort, gasoline's going to get scarce.
Yes. Yes.
So most everything you have there is going to need to be operated in a different manner. So you come up with different ideas on how to keep it going.
Yeah. And those of you, I hope everybody's starting to, it's not too late to start stocking up on your canned goods and dry goods and stuff, and because the food is going to start getting scarce. It already has started.
This COVID has taught us quite a bit about preparing.
Yes. So, if you go to the grocery store, your whatever favorite grocery store you go to, some of the things that you used to be able to find easily, you can't find it anymore. I've noticed going into some of the dollar stores there for a while, you couldn't get dry cat food.
No.
You couldn't get wet cat food. And I would end up having to get extra chicken and stuff so I could boil it up and feed my animals. So it's coming, y'all, and I'm not trying to drive fear in y'all. I want you to be prepared. I want you to know that it's coming, and you can start now.
Yeah.
You know, just get a
Even if it's just a heavy recession like what happened in the 1920s,
yes,
it's still an issue where people are going to go hungry. And they're going to start doing things that are not right to get food.
yes,
And if you're prepared for an issue like that that comes up, then you'll weather it a lot better.
right,
I watched several videos on YouTube where a lot of people and comedians are talk about the rednecks are the best prepared people on the planet. They know how to feed themselves without a grocery store. They can make their own alcohol. They can make their own gas. You know, if something breaks, they can fix it. And if they don't know how, they have a buddy that does. You know, it's little things like that that a lot of the population is getting away from, because my nieces and nephews have no clue about most of the things that I do. To them, it's, you ask them, where do you get certain things? Oh, at the store. But if the store doesn't have it, you
then
can't
what do
get
you
it.
do? Yeah, that's the reason why I'm gleaning all the knowledge I can from this man, so that when he is gone, I can do it myself. So I have an idea in my mind now how to replace a carburetor. So the next time when the carburetor starts acting up, I can at least go in there and look
Right.
at it, clean it
Figure out
up.
how to get it off the machine, how to clean it up without losing the little tiny parts.
Yes.
You
How
know,
to put
get
it
it back
together.
together and make it run like I did the other day. I mean, as soon as I got it back together and the fuel got to the carburetor, it fired right up, leveled off, ran so pretty.
It did. And now I'm going to learn how to replace a motor on the tiller.
Yeah, I started working on it and then decided I better stop so she could video this, because if I don't and give her a way to watch it a few times and to make sure she gets in her mind how it was done, she'll forget a step and nothing will work.
Yeah. But then I can go back to my videos and watch and
Right. Because it's the same process on just about all the equipment, just in a little different orientation on some of the motors, where this machine has the shaft, a horizontal shaft on it. The lawnmowers and the tractors all have a vertical shaft. So all you have to do is turn that knowledge vertically, and it's very similar.
yeah.
And I learned a long time ago that if it's a machine I've never worked on, take photographs as you're taking things apart. I take my cell phone and I click a picture of it before I start, and then a third of the way through, you know, I'll take another one, wait another third, take another one, as I'm removing different pieces off the machine, so that I have pictures of what goes back in there when I'm putting it back together. Because sometimes at my age, because I'm close to 65 now, so
Yeah.
I do forget a few things every now and then. And I'm looking in the bowl and there's parts there that's like, okay, where did that go?
Yeah.
So I look at the photographs and go, ah, there it is.
Yeah, I was trying to, before he got here this year, I was trying to get the push mower going. And I watched several videos on YouTube how to do what to do. I did everything they said to do and still couldn't get it going. And I was so frustrated about it.
And it has the same issue the big black lawnmower had. It needs a new carburetor.
Yeah.
The little jets in there have gotten so clogged up from trash in the cans, and we finally figured out where the trash was coming from. When we set the cans down, they don't get used for a week or so. Well, the spiders and the wasps and the frogs all go up into the neck of the spout. And then when you pour the gas in there, you flush them all right into the tank.
Yes.
So what we have to start doing is, like I told her, just take that spout off, put the funnel into the tank, pour it in then. Eliminate getting all that trash in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need
And we've
all
also come up with a filtering system to if there's any down in the tank or can itself, it'll catch it before it gets to the fuel tanks on the
Yeah.
machinery.
that. Yeah, we need to get some more coffee filters.
Yeah. Yeah, you go to the dollar store and buy the little small cheap coffee filters. They fit right into your funnel.
Oh, there's something I want to show y'all. I have these little tags that tells me what I planted in a row. I got these for $1.25 at the
The $1.25 store.
yeah, the what's it called? Dollar Tree. They were hanging up where the flower display is there in the front of the store. And I got me a bunch of these, and they're perfect. They're really perfect. So if you want to,
Even in your raised beds, things like that, if you're not sure what you planted, you can mark that little tag with what it is and stick it right in the edge of the row there, and walk by and say,
Yeah.
okay, I've got this growing here.
yeah. Last year, the garden I planted, when I first planted it, I could remember what was where. Later on, I couldn't remember. So this year, I decided I wasn't going to go through that, and I did something about it. I went and found those tags at the Dollar Tree, and I scarfed up a bunch of them. And I'm glad. Mom's even using them for her flowers and stuff.
Oh, and Marie finally got to ride the big new lawnmower, the zero turn.
Oh, yeah, the zero
We
turn.
had our lesson on that.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed my zero
She
turn.
rode this yard till she ran the mower out of gas.
I did, too. I did. I didn't want to get off of it until I was done. But it said, oh, no, I'm finished.
I was sitting here on the porch, kind of relaxing because I'd been out in the heat all morning. And she come walking up, just sweating and grumbling, and it's just like, what happened? I don't know. The mower quit.
And no. I knew it had run out of gas, so I put gas in it. But I still couldn't get it to crank. So that's when I started coming up here grumbling, you know.
Yeah, she has to learn that when you run it out of fuel, it takes a few minutes for the fuel to get from the tank through the fuel pump into the carburetor and get it to start.
Yeah. And I didn't have but just a little bit to do to get done. I was so,
But the smile on her face was it was heartwarming because she was just as happy as she could be mowing grass.
yeah. I like my zero turn. Thank you, Lord.
And she did notice that within just a few hours, she had mowed more grass than it would take in 2 days with the other mowers.
Yes.
It's slightly wider, a little faster, cuts a lot cleaner.
Yes, it does. And it didn't take me long to catch on to how to
Yeah.
work the controls. It was,
Yeah, the first few minutes she was running it, I kept noticing she was trying to push the arms from the side to side
Yeah.
instead of back and forth.
I was used to driving like this. I mean, all my life I've been driving like this.
And I had to stop her and tell her, stop pushing the arms side to side. Front, back, front, back. After that, she did great.
Yep, I caught on.
But it's so much easier if you pull up to something and you need to back up instead of trying to find that reverse gear and
Yep, you just pull it back towards you.
yeah. So, and it makes cutting the yard so much faster.
It is. And it's fun. I love it.
But the drawback is the longer you sit on that machine and as fast as it is, with some of the holes we have in the yard, you hit them pretty hard and it jars your back. So if you have any back problems, you
Yeah.
have to learn to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, speed demon.
especially in certain areas.
Yeah.
Every year we have armadillos.
Oh gosh.
In the back of the property, there are two rabbit holes back there that are quite a few feet deep, and if you're not careful, you'll stick the lawnmower in one of those holes, and that's where it's going to be till you get the truck over there to pull it out.
Yeah, this past year we have had an armadillo just decimate our yard with holes. So, and that's what he was talking about, using some of the dirt from the dirt pile to fill up the holes.
Yeah, we got to take the small wagon, you put a little dirt in it, you drive around the yard till you run into a hole, stop, put some dirt in the hole, go on till you hit another one, and until you find them all.
Most of them are right here.
They're also
And out
right
there.
over in there,
I
along
believe it.
the flat spot there.
That little guy, he was busy.
Especially right behind the burn pile.
Yeah.
Because he comes out of those woods back there and he's digging holes everywhere.
Yeah, I also noticed that the deer have already started coming in my garden.
Yeah, we've got to get the rest of the fencing up and some shiny, sparkly things that glow in the breeze.
I bet I
spook
can get
'em.
some at the Dollar Tree.
That's where Tina got hers. She got them in sheets,
Yeah.
cut them into small strips, and just tied them along the fence.
Okay.
And that waving in the breeze, sparkling, keeps them. It startles them, and they don't come near it.
Yeah.
The winds we have around here will blow quite a few of them away, so you have to keep replacing them from time to time. But it does work.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some pretty high winds out here. But the rain.
Yes, we had a nice rainstorm yesterday that started around 4 o'clock, and it was a very heavy rain for an hour.
And what surprises me, the rain gauge only showed 1 inch of rain. I don't believe that. I just don't. Not as heavy as it was.
I think if you bought one of the ones with the larger top that gets smaller at the bottom,
Yeah,
you'd have a more accurate reading of it.
I agree.
Right now she's got a little glass tube that's only 3/4 of an inch opening at the top,
Yeah.
and sometimes those aren't as accurate as they could be.
Maybe I should put a funnel up there.
Because there was a lot of rain here yesterday. It put almost 6 inches of water in the pond. That's how heavy it rained.
Yes, yes. We haven't showed y'all our big pond, our fish pond. We're gonna have to go back there and.
Well, before we show you that, I want to get back there and trim some of the trees that grew up around it, because you really can't see it for the trees that are on the top of the bank.
Yeah.
And we have to do some cleanup around there so that the pond's actually visible.
And we have some huge catfish in there.
Yeah, we've got the barrels to build a dock to go down into the water, just so we can do some fishing.
I heard that.
Got to have a way to catch dinner.
That's right. The only part I hate about catching catfish is cleaning them and killing them. I hate to hear them cry. It hurts my heart. I'm sorry. I'm sensitive. That's the way God made me, and I'm just wired that way. Yeah, that one catfish that I caught, I must have knocked that guy out several times. And then I finally decided I'm going to take care of this. I cut his head off.
Yeah. Well, that's usually the way I do it. I will hit them and then quickly cut the head off so that I don't have to hear the noises they make.
Yeah, because I can only imagine what I would do.
Killing an animal is to eat is a natural thing, but at the same token, you feel for the animal.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes it is very hard to do.
Yeah. I keep wondering, when my yellow rooster gets old, how I'm gonna handle that.
Yeah.
But that's the reason they're there, for eggs and food. So
3 years ago, my family, we had to have 3 of our dogs put down. They had all gotten up into 18 and 19 years of age, and they were starting to suffer. And after putting 3 down in a year, because my sisters just couldn't do it, so I would end up having to be the one to take them down to the vet and have them euthanized. I couldn't do a 4th one.
I understand.
So
I had to take Precious down to get her.
it got harder and harder each time, because they knew they were in pain, and they knew we were there to help them ease that pain. But it broke my heart to have to do that.
Yeah.
But every one of those pets were loyal to us for all those years.
Yeah.
We had Dustin, which was a Aussie Shepherd and German Shepherd, or Black Lab mix. This was the smartest dog I'd ever seen in my life. You could literally tell him, I need to go to the 7-Eleven. He would get real excited and he would lead you down the street to the 7-Eleven. Because he had been trained, if he took, excuse me, if he took someone to the store, he would get a Slim Jim. And then, of course, little buddy, there was a French Bulldog mix that I got as a rescue, because a little 3-year-old was just dragging him around by his tail and basically tormenting him. And the owners were going to take him down and have him put down, and I couldn't let that happen because he was such a good dog. I took him over to my sister's, and because she had separated from her husband at the time, and when I opened the truck door, little buddy jumped out and ran straight to her, and of course Dustin was there, and the two of those started playing. So I said, okay, he's your dog, and I drove away. And then Rosie, Mom's Chihuahua, she was 16 years old at the time, and her arthritis and stuff was getting to the point where she couldn't even move.
She's a little tiny thing.
Yeah, she's one of the little teacup Chihuahuas. That particular dog was a rescue as well. My mother called me one day and said, I found a dog for you. We can't take him, but you've got the space out at the house for him, or her. And by the time I could get up to Kingsland, Georgia from Jacksonville to pick her up, I walked into the house and I couldn't see a dog anywhere. And my dad was probably 75 years old at the time, and he was cold all the time, so he always wore a jacket. And I asked him where the dog was, and he opened his jacket, and here's this little Chihuahua snuggled up to him in that jacket. And he looked straight at me and said, you're not taking my dog. He closed his jacket. And until he passed away, that little dog would not leave his side.
Yep. I can just picture that in my mind.
I mean, wherever Dad was, Rosie was right there with him.
Oh, that is awesome.
Best friend you have is a dog.
Yeah. And it's a lot like Esri here with me. These girls have realized that, you know, wherever I'm at, she's not far from me. She's within, she can see me from wherever she is. She'll go out and explore, but she doesn't get too far.
Yeah.
Because I can turn around and call her name, and she's right there.
Now, I've got to interject something here. Baby girl has been the best thing for me, especially when I was going through my cancer treatment. She would get up on my chest when I was, especially when I was having a bad day, and after a chemotherapy treatment, she would get up on my chest and lay down, and just the sound of her purring would relax me and make me feel better. and she's awesome. She'll stand up. Mama's seen this. She'll stand up and lower her head and push her head at my face. And what she wants is for me to kiss her forehead. And
And you see the little paw go up and gently tap on her, like, hey, I'm down here.
yeah. She's something. When she was just a baby, what happened was the day she was born, the mama cat, I don't know who the mama cat was. I was living next door, and there were a bunch of feral cats out there. And of course, you know me, I couldn't, but I had to feed them. They, I've considered them as God's creatures, and we're supposed to take care of God's creatures. So, and I would feed them, and one of the mamas had this litter of kittens and abandoned her. She was down at the bottom of the steps, and I went and got her, and I started nursing her. And when I was at work, I brought her over for Mom to nurse her while I was working. And she got sick several times during the first 6 weeks, but we got her through it. Well, as she got older, a little bit older, I would come walking across with her on my shoulder. She would ride on my shoulder. And Faith, I don't know if Faith remembers this, but the first time she met Faith, she hissed at her. She didn't want nothing to do with anybody else. She was my cat, and she's just always been there for me.
It's taken until this year for her to warm up to me.
Yeah.
She's finally got where she'll come up to me and let me pet her a little bit. She still won't let me pick her up. But
What were you gonna say?
Even when she got pregnant herself and had her kids, she would not have those kids until you went in there with her.
Yeah, I had to be right there with her.
Matter of fact, she growled at me.
Okay. But
well, been nice talking with everyone. Have a good day. God bless you.
Bye.
bye. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We can't do this without you.